So the Sustainable Tourism Stewardship Council and the Global Sustainable Tourism Criteria Partnership merged last week officially. And what this means is over the last year and a half, we've been working jointly on trying to identify common source or a common language on sustainable tourism. Both organizations addressing very much the issue of education, communication, marketing, criteria, and the Stewardship Council obviously focusing on the accreditation process. So what we decided to do was that if we merge both of them under an overarching umbrella that's going to be called the Tourism Sustainability Council, and it may change based on the fact that there is a tourism sustainability group, but also on the fact that there have been recommendations that we should express the international nature of this. So that's a recommendation that we need to make. So the whole idea now, or the whole purpose, is that we have this one entity that companies, destinations can turn to and look at sustainable tourism and the place to go for that. So you'll have the accreditation component, which will maintain its very strict structure following the Forest Stewardship Council and the Marine Stewardship Council president. So with its own board, independent from the board of the Tourism Sustainability Council, and that will use the standards that are based on the criteria to go through the accreditation process. The Tourism Sustainability Council will have a board, and it will continue to operate with its working groups as it has it right now to address education, to address how do we deal with those that have a voluntary approach to sustainability, hoping to build them up in the process of certification so that they can get accredited, by recognizing that there are steps to this. And that's the market access group. Then there's a communications and branding group, which, as you can understand right now, is very busy in trying to find the identity of the group, but will eventually also look into how do we disseminate and how do we talk about sustainable tourism in the future. And then there's the technical group, which is currently working mainly on the standards for the mainly on harmonizing the criteria into standards so that they can be used for the accreditation process. But it is also starting to look at other sectors. So how we see this evolving is that you'll have a series of subsectors. So the marine subsector, the cruise lines, the airlines, and so forth, under an umbrella of basic criteria.
So when is the accreditation process going to start? When are we going to be seeing brands that are accredited?
Well, we hope to launch the process, and we're giving ourselves some time. We hope to launch this in March. We're aiming for a launch in ITB. The accreditation people are confident we can manage that, so we're sticking with that date. When the first accreditation will take place, that's a different story. We have currently some certifications that have been working on adapting to the criteria. So once the standards are out, they'll be easy to really complete that work. Those, hopefully, we can accredit pretty quickly. The challenge is to get a critical mass of certifications will take a time, because not all of them have been looking at this. So UNEP is now undergoing a series of workshops, regional workshops that will bring together certifications to introduce them to the criteria, to the accreditation process, and hopefully see how we can help them build up to meet the criteria and therefore can get accredited.
So we're going to be seeing, presumably you've got a queue actually of certifications that are making a queue at your door to get accredited at the moment.
There are a lot of certifications that are turning to us to see when can they begin the process, how can they get there. This is costly. As you know, building a certification is costly, therefore we need to work on also finding the financing to help many of these certifications get to that process. So There is indeed, I would say, the Americas through Rainforest Alliance has done a great job in disseminating the work. Definitely in Europe through Ecotrans and Destinet, there's an appetite for getting this started as soon as possible. So I believe we will have a queue, but I believe that it is also hard work to get them through the process to get to meet the criteria.
Yeah, so probably by the end of next year we'll have some.
That's our hopes.
STS. Anyway, what was it?
It's now the Tourism Sustainability Council.
TSC accredited certifiers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that people will be able to join up and offer a global brand, basically.
Exactly, and you will have a solution to the problems that you just saw, which is the hotels trying to identify which one is best for me. Can you shed some light? And what the Tourism Sustainability Council will do in addition to the accreditation is to provide the education component. So you'll have access to a library, you'll have access to the criteria, you'll have access to a series of tools that will allow you to make an informed decision. It's not just somebody knocking on your door, this is it, take it or leave it, but it's you having the ability, if you want to do so, to use these resources to inform yourself as a supplier. And as a consumer, which is our next level, these resources would be available to you as well.
I'm sure it'll be an enormous success, Erika.
I hope so.
One thing, I think there's something between 60 and 100 different certifiers at the moment globally.
It depends on who you ask. I use a number of 70 to be honest.
You use 70, I've gone up to 150, so it's probably somewhere between
I've heard up
then.
to 130, and I guess it's the level of credibility that they may have.
Two quick questions. One is, how many of them do you reckon eventually will come under the umbrella? And two, how many do you reckon you're going to get? What's your best bet for the end of next year?
That is a tough question to answer because it will depend on the resources available. I think there are many good certifications out there that just don't have the resources to get accredited. There are many that we know are short of being compliant with the GSCC. Do we have the money to get them there? I hope so. I hope that we have enough resources to get a substantial number. I think for this to be credible, you have to have 20 certifications at least, so that you have a choice. And in many cases, as you know, these are country specific, which will be a very big challenge because you'll have to look at the regional ones and then look at those that are countrywide, so that we don't forget those that may have legal implications as well. So.
And have you made a decision as far as actually physical inspections are concerned or not?
No, the whole process of accreditation is being worked out now by a group of experts.
And your best bet as far as physical assessment is concerned?
I would not dare answer that
question.
Answer that
question.
I'm not leading that part.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm sure it'll be great. Thank you very much,
Thank you
Erika.
very much.
Thank you.